Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Live broadcast of the USA Cycling Racing League out on Zwift. Today we've got Crit City. I am Nathan Guerra. We've got Dave Toll next to me virtually, and we are into race number 9. And this is going to be fast and furious crit racing out here today, Dave. I think very difficult racing. I mean, we were talking about this beforehand, and the course tends to stay together, but because of the nature of the course, it's just like crit racing, nonstop, out of corners, bam, 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 just coming at you over and over again. So I have a feeling the riders have a very difficult race in front of them, but maybe a sprinter's delight, though, too. Bring a microphone.
Sorry, there. It's going to be
No
interesting,
worries.
Nathan, when you look at it. Again, you're kind of either going up, down, or turning on this course today, and it's going to be fun to watch. That's for sure. I don't know how much fun it's going to be in the last couple of laps when they're really sticking it to each other out there. We've got some elite fields, so much racing going on around the globe here. It's an honor to have this group of riders with us. We take a lot of pride in putting together a strong event each week with USA Cycling. Nathan, they're working hard there in Colorado Springs, staying on task, on point. We've got the Rob DiMartini is just such a tremendous CEO. I love the message that we've received from them over since COVID-19 and everything that we've been through. USA Cycling really on point. So I'm glad that we get together and race. You're going to be racing later today, but we've got such strong fields for the men and the women. Some of the heavy hitters are back. Some of the young talent that we'll be looking forward to watching out here. So Nathan, it's going to be a special day.
Yeah, we do have some GC standings here as well for the series. Let's go take a quick look at those. We do have about 3 minutes to the start of the men's race and 7 minutes to the start of the elite women's race. So let's take a quick look at how things are playing out so far amongst the series here. For the men's side of things right now, the standings are Brett Boniface has been out for a couple of weeks. We do know that he does have injuries, so hopefully Brett is going to be getting well again soon. But Brian Hodges, he's out here today, but it looks like he's riding solo today, according to the signups. Now, he may have a late joiner or two from the Evoke team, but Vigo Moore, this is somebody you've been mentioning a lot lately, the hot shot from BRT, young kid, showing up alongside of Corbin McNeil there, 4th place, and Michelle Powell from D-Pack then, Mike Cuming, the Twig, George Mills Keeling, U23, another young rider that's been showing up on these esports races at the higher level broadcast of them. So good to see George in there hammering away. Parbacker, and then it's James Bevan. Those are two names, Brian Hodges, James Bevan. If it does come down to a sprint, I would say today, Dave, definitely watching out for them.
Well, without a doubt, Nathan. It's interesting. Look at the lead that Brett had built up there. Again, from what I've heard, Nathan, it's not a significant injury, and Boniface had taken a long, hard pull on the front, hadn't he? If you look all the way back through this winter pre-COVID, he was racing a ton. So, and he's a very popular rider. But as we take a look then at Blake Herbold now, look at all these American flags here. Herbold leading, but it's a lot closer here with Dustin. So Blake Herbold with 181 points, 171 for Dustin Byers, and then Chuck Coyle with 166. And you look really, I put the line there below Ian Mulligan. When you look, we still got a few days or a few weeks of racing remaining here, or a couple weeks, I guess. This has gone by so quickly. Let me just run through the rest here as we go after Ian Mulligan in 5th right now, Dan Paltiel, Ryan Tweeton in 6th, London Warburton in 7th, Judd Nutting in 8th, Kevin Baker and Matt DeLisa rounding out your top 10. And Nathan, as you well know, that USA Cycling number there is, you can do a special breakout of the scoring to see how you score against just USA Cycling members. Throw it back to you.
Yeah, Christian McDonald, it looks like here. Good to see him still hammering away at the front. 217 there, Justin Evans, and then Daryl Southwood. Federico Bandini in the C category, Henry Burson, and Kerry Wilson. Seabass, Lauren Crannell, and then it's going to be Juan Vandrom and Matthew Robertson. That's your C category. And then the D category, it's going to be Jay Saunders, Daryl Askey, Daniel Stevens, Kevin Klein, Cameron Lighty, David Schaefer, and Bill Whitham. Kellen Fenters, Simon Jones, and Lynn Hughes. That's your top 10 in the USA Cycling Series on the men's side of things. things. Let's go ahead and take a quick look, though, before we jump into the racing that is getting out on course here for the men. They just jumped out onto the bell lap. But for the women's side of things, Lawrence Stevens is hammering away at the front. Very commanding lead coming from Lawrence so far. Carolyn Murray, Christy Tracy. There's a little bit of a battle there between the two Infinite riders there. And then it's going to be Daniela Straight from Revo, and then Estrate, and then Maniela Keller, also from Revo. Clara James Herr, the young junior rider. Good to see her out there in 6th place. Takashita, always on the battle for a win. Probably not as many races as a few of the others. There's Shani Berger, and then Charlotte Backus, and Morgan Schaffen for the A category. We're going to jump back in for the GC standings after the racing. But as the men have jumped out on course, let's go ahead and get in with them. 91st place over the top here, it looks like, of this bell lap. Man, already the riders are struggling to hang on. Like I said, Fast and Furious from the get-go is going to be the name of the game, I think, here. And we're going to have to see if these boys are going to be able to hang on, because right from the go, we can see already splits starting to happen here, Dave.
Yeah, Nathan, I want to just take a step back and congratulate Lauren Stevens. She just made the Olympic long team. Looking forward to Tokyo 2021. I hope she makes the ultimate team that travels to the game. So congratulations, Lauren, as we're going to be watching now. Today, Nathan, it's 39 kilometers, but really think 20 laps here. Classic. Now, Criterium Racing. This is, we were just talking about Toad before we went on the air live here. That's a good example of a USA Cycling event, just days and days of criteriums. It's a sprinter's delight out there. Nathan, this course is going to be challenging. We're kind of getting a look at the opening laps here as we're sending 8 different races happening concurrently here. And again, we want to thank Saris and the Pros Closet for their awesome support. Truly a great partner for USA Cycling is the Pros Closet, and I really do appreciate the fact that we get to race out here with such a high level. So Nathan, here we go. Picking up McLean right now, the Cannondale riders. We take a look at a group. I don't know how long this whole thing stays together, but it sounds like, Nathan, from your comments earlier, you're predicting quite a few guys are going to make it to the bell lap.
Yeah, I think here's the thing, though, is that the course, though, is so difficult. It's hard to figure where, how, why, and when things are going to go, and that's very simple. So you've commentated so many crit races, and I think they've done a good job of replicating what that feels like in some ways in Zwift here. And because you need to position yourself well at the right times, or something goes off the front and you had no idea. And with this long line, look at the long line here. And as you kick through this 3% gradient, undulates a little bit here. This is a climb on the backside of the course. They're going to hit this every single lap. It lasts about 30 seconds or so, maybe a little bit more than that, actually, because it continues on to a false flat as we go past the Zwift patio and Zwift shop up here on the right-hand side in just a moment. And as they go past that, this is always going to be the section on course where the attacks are going to be taking place, I would think. And then it's a sharp downhill afterwards. And so I think that James Bevitt is in here. I wasn't sure if he showed up out here today, but, I think now Hodge is going up the front, KRT. So Dave, I think your experience, though, I want to talk to that a little bit, like about being aware of who's going when and always kind of up toward that top 10, because it's almost always like getting ready for a sprint, but always getting ready for a break in crit racing.
Well, you make such a great point, Nathan, because there's a pecking order out here, and in real life, this part of the difference between in real life racing, especially criteriums or the last 5K of any road race when you're in a group, is the fact that there's some pretty sharp elbows up there. They don't let gaps open up, and you certainly don't take wheels. It's a little different here. Right, is you can let your legs do a little more talking, and you don't have to worry about the physicality or the
That's
the
a great
team
point.
tactics.
That's a great point, actually.
Yeah, because you try to come in and move in on any, like, if you think, I'll use an American example, United Healthcare for about 5 years there, any criterium in America, you weren't going to infiltrate their train, or if you did, I hate to say it, but it wasn't going to be pretty what happened. Almost like a hockey game, there's going to be enforcers out there. I appreciate, Nathan, that when you're at the back of this group, let me put it this way, actually, speaking to your question. When you're at the back of this group and this attack goes like we're seeing right now, right? I think that's Seth Lashley that we've got. We're going to figure this out. But what are you going to do about it? right? You can't impact the race. You're not an impact player when you're tagged onto the back here. Now you're surviving in the group, but it's only the guys, the first 12 guys, the first 20 guys that can really make a difference in the chase. And that's who we would call the heavy hitters. So, Nathan, I love criterium racing. It truly is the best. It's for Americans. It's almost the only type of racing that your average American would know. There's all parts of Quad Cities races in Iowa. I was talking about Nevada City. Nathan, I want to take back what I was saying off the air about this being like Nevada City. It's nothing like Nevada City.
Oh, it's funny. Now this is a name here. This is a name, and if this is the individual, like, I want to see how this plays out. I want to know how this plays out. This name is at the top of so many KOMs locally. He's in a kit that looks like the Project Echelon kit, and that's a local team here. I'm not sure if it's the actual person who's the Baconator locally here, but if it is, watch out, boys and girls, because he may be just getting some Zwift underneath his wheels here. I have to wait and see if this is actually the Baconator. I want to know if anybody in chat knows that this is the guy who has all the Strava KOMs from the roadie side of things locally. Well, not all, but a lot of them in the Waukesha County, southern Wisconsin, the southeastern Wisconsin area. I would not be surprised if it is with this weekend coming up with the Joe Martin. Maybe just testing the legs out on Zwift here today.
Nathan, I'm telling you, I think you've cracked the code on that. So here we go. That's going to be fun.
He hears it on broadcast and goes straight to the front. Look, 187 beats per minute. Here we go. The Baconator's in the house.
This is awesome. Hey, 39 kilometers of racing today, Nathan. So this is a long time to stay on point out here. So you put a hotkey for the Baconator, right? We can check in at any point during the race here. We take a look around. Nathan, let me hit some other names because you were mentioning James Bevan. Certainly got to watch. We talked about Vigo Moore. PO Auto, they're one of the strongest teams that we see week in, week out on the WTRL, the World Tactical Racing League, which is just my favorite day of racing. And Nicholas Pedersen is here. Always a rider to watch. Juan Cruz Araldi.
Super strong rider for sure.
Super strong. Absolutely. And I mean, Araldi is one of the Argentinians that's been an impact rider out here over the last couple of months. Nathan, when I look at these names, Bevan, Moore, Pedersen, Araldi, listen to this, McGeough, George Mills Keeling is out here today. Daniel Ricciardo is in the mix. So, taking a look now, Shell Power, the Belgian, Nathan, he's got a lot to gain by having a good ride today.
He's in the top 10 still. I think trying to get into the top 5 here at this point.
Yeah, right there on that threshold. So watch out for Shell Power. Absolutely. Well, one of the riders that I'm putting a gold star next to. Pay attention.
Yeah, real quick, let's go ahead and jump on in over with the women's side of things as they're just getting out on course. They've started their first lap, just ending here now, and we do see it is going to be Schaffen here from Velocity Vixen making her way to the front. We do see Kolchinski here, a name that I think we just started jumping into the series in this last couple of weeks as well. Henry, a larger group, though, it looks like, that's made this initial breaks, actually. Evoke, though, I have seen a lot of Evoke jerseys early on. That's going to be the the light white kit there. A pull in there from Evoke, as you can see, and there's a couple more Evoke kits up toward the front. So it looks like Pitzer and her crew have shown up out here today to race. It looks like at least 4 jerseys, actually, from Evoke. Mats and Co. Does look like Pitzer here on the left-hand side as well. Now off the front, though, a little bit, it looks like it is going to be Team Turbo. Charlotte Backus on the attack here. And coming up over the top of the KOM, again, James Herr, though, trying to shut that down from Team Fearless. But Backus definitely giving a little bit of a dig. And, you can put the hurt in the legs. Here's the thing is over the top there, you do get some draft, but, if you kick hard enough, everybody's got to almost match it over that climb. But you got to be really willing to put the hurt in on this course.
Nathan, this is going to be an interesting day of racing because it's been a while since we haven't had Lauren Stevens. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It wouldn't be my first mistake, but I think Lauren has taken a little break on USA Cycling Race here. She's been on Zwift as much as anyone over the last few months, and I mentioned she's made the Olympic long team. So this opens up the door, Nathan. It's really a different kind of bike race when you don't have Stevens out here. You know what I'm saying? changes everything. It opens up opportunities now for riders like Charlotte Backus, who Nathan is locked in on here with a laser-like focus. This young woman has gone from no one personifies what hard work, dedication, and passion. You put that together, you got yourself Charlotte Backus, and you've got one talented young rider with the best attitude in the sport right now. Also, Nathan, it's about time that I shout out Clara James here. This young rider, I think she's 14. She might be 15. A tremendous runner. She is a really versatile, and I see her right in the middle of the group. So super young rider with a ton of talent and work ethic. Tremendous. So Clara, you keep it up out there. It's super cool to see someone this young working so hard, Nathan. We could use more of that. How many kids are eating Fruit Loops on a couch right now playing a bit? Well, I should not gaming.
Well, at the same time, though, there is a reality, though. And when I first started streaming Zwift, one of the things in my description was, let's get rid of that. Let's help with this gaming culture in some ways, because there is a culture
Nathan.
There is a culture that just has this assumption that we just sit around and eat potato chips. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And, I think that there's a whole new generation that is not just about that. And I think Clara here, maybe she plays some Fortnite too, so there's a reality of
yeah. Well, listen, I love your origin story, Nathan, your personal story. And a big part of that was this guy who just was riding his bike, playing video games at the same time. And talk about a dream come true for someone like you to see just what's happened with Zwift is so cool. Who else, Nathan, I have been amazed by? This is a next level human being, is Laura Matson-Coe. We were talking last week about the fact that she's a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon. She's a mom of 2, and she was second last week. She took the silver medal out here behind Lauren Stevens. That is, absolutely next level human being. So Laura Matson-Coe, you're my hero. You really are. And now we got Christy Tracy, one of the most exciting esports racers out there. Nathan, Christy Tracy's been a blast. Has Jamie checked in yet today?
Yeah, he actually has. I was about to go in.
Okay,
I was about to go into all that. So real quick, everybody, so everybody knows you can interact with us. If you're new to the broadcast, we are watching the comments as they come on through. So go ahead and bring all the comments in. We do see a ton of YouTube comments, Facebook comments coming on in. Also, you can share your media with us as well. If you have any kind of any kind of pictures that you do want to share, the easiest way to do that is on Twitter with @ZCommunityLive, @ZCommunityLive. It actually looks like Christy's streaming right now. Another great day of racing with Nathan and Dave. Go Christy at Saris Official and @ZCommunityLive. You see how he did @ZCommunityLive? That's on Twitter if you want to bring in any kind of media. Sometimes you can share them through Facebook as well, but the easiest way to get your live photos of what your efforts are like is going to be over on Twitter. Thanks a lot, Jamie, for bringing that on in. I also want to give a quick little shout out to Corinne Black, showing up to the broadcast super early. We did see Corinne jumping on in there. And she's a new super fan out there, obviously, today.
She's great.
Z Kreider as well. Good to see Z in the broadcast. Long-time watcher, long-time fan as well. And we got tons and tons of chatter coming on through. So sorry to hear that, Christian. Our leader in the C category lost the connection. So Christian, we'll see you next week. Sorry to hear about that. We're seeing, what about the Brit guys? You should keep an eye on Ben Price. Johnny, definitely going to be all about that. We'll keep an eye on Ben Price. I think a lot of them are racing they've got their own series going on though as well.
They got the British thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have James Bevan out here.
We do have James Bevan, which is interesting to see. Interesting to see that James has jumped in, and James definitely one of the strongest sprinters we've seen recently. Going to be a hard one to beat. You know what I like to see though today, Dave? James Bevan versus Brian Hodges if it comes to the line.
Oh, good. Let me throw one more at you. Vigo Moore.
Yep, there you go. Good call. Good call. Vigo Moore. That's kind of your 3-up today, maybe.
Yeah. You were close yesterday. I think when you made your prediction, you had 2 of the 3 guys that made the podium.
No, I had 3. Oh, you're wrong. You're right. Because Kirchmeier was in 4th. You're right. You got
that. You just missed, or else you would have hit the trifecta, and we would be sprucing up the headquarters.
We'd just be going to the casino. I mean,
I think one good thing, you're so busy, you don't have time, which is nice. So, hey, remember that attack a month ago that Christy Tracy, she just scorched That was one of the most impressive finales. Reminded me of that Mara Abbott ride. Speaking of USA cycling legends, that she had at the Olympics in Rio. Ended up fourth place on the day, but it was the most exciting fourth place finish you're ever going to see. So we're going to, and Christy Tracy races with that kind of passion. So we'll see what's going to happen there. We got a long way to go, folks. As we pick up, it looks like this is going to be
full on attack
Checo
on the backside. Yeah, he's on this climb here. This is the one section we keep talking about. This is the only section really on course. A little bit of a climb in the middle of it. He's breaking things apart. Look at Schwartz closing it down. 7 watts per kilogram though to come back. This may split the field actually.
Yeah, interesting to see. Now, Nathan, when you look at this, we're, just a little more, almost a third of the way in. Active racing, and there you go. Nathan, it is splitting the field. Great call. Now, that's not a huge gap, but it is big enough that I'd call it a split. Nathan, we got a moment here. And it looks like they're going to fight
They're
back.
going to make a catch, but so if they continue on though here and they don't slow down, those who are off the back just a little bit and don't close the gap down, going to have a hard time. But there needs to be a counter, I think. Pacheco trying to get back on terms. Look at the speed that they come down with though after pushing 7 over the top. It's so hard to stay away. But look, see, we do have these little bit of a gaps forming. We need a second attack. We need 2 or 3 to go off the front though at this point, and that's
yes.
That's usually the
that's
section right here that you can make another move, and then go all the way into that back end climb again with a gap. It's a superb athlete that's going to be able to do that though.
Or a combination of athletes. The great Bobby Knight, the basketball coach known for Indiana, had a great saying about life is all about being in position to be in position to be in position to make the shot. Well, it's the same thing in bike racing here. It's about being in position to make a difference. So when you see the right attack go, you go up over the top of that, then maybe a couple other guys come and they go up over the top of you, and then next thing you know, you're rolling in a 5-rider breakaway. And as Nathan has noted, there are places on this course where you can make a difference. You can slip away, but it's a big ask, especially when you're only 14K into a 39 kilometer. That's what we've got on the odometer set, is about 39K today. Here, 20 laps of racing on. This is a great grit course. One of the things, Nathan, I've been so impressed with is the way that the game designers, the game engineers back, I guess a lot of them are in Long Beach, California. They're all over the world, really. But the way they have been able to replicate the feel of a criterium is outstanding. And this USA Crits race is going to, this USA Cycling Criterium race, I should say, USA Crits, well known for all of the awesome races they have around the country. We'll look forward to them being back in 2021. Right now, we got Christy Tracy rolling with the women. I love this split screen look.
She went on attack again, actually, and tried to push the pace a little bit. Looks like put a little bit of damage. I think it put damage at least in the legs. And a couple of riders did fall off the back here. So she's really been aggressive here from the Saris Infinite crowd. What do they have to gain is going to be the question here, I think. Speaking of that, there were a couple of attacks in the men's race, but I want to go to what the reality may be here with what the ladies are up to on this Saris Infinite. What do they have to gain? Let's take a look here real quick again. Christy Tracy in 3rd place overall. She's got a lot of points to try and pull back, though. Obviously Lauren Stevens, Carolyn Murray. I believe they're teammates.
I don't know if Murray started. Did Murray start today? I'm going to go back.
I haven't seen the name. I've not seen
Zwift
Murray
Power
out there today, so I think that there's a lot to gain for Christy here today to maybe bump up into that 2nd place. Now in attack in the women's race again, we're seeing actually at the front, Dave. No, Murray's here. Murray is here. I am seeing her.
Okay.
So teammates here, and maybe no love lost because they know that they've got 1st or 2nd and 3rd right now. Maybe there's a little bit of battling going on,
or consolidation. Maybe it's interesting because, that's a great point, Nathan. If you really were going to talk about being teammates through and through, thick and thin, blood sisters, you would say, well, are there enough points still available to move Murray over the top of Stevens? Right, with Stevens not racing, obviously, that's the question. And then if not, it makes a difference. I love Stephanie Sidlick out of Pennsylvania.
6
Another
seconds
rider
too.
with massive heart, huge talent. This is a real danger woman without any doubt. As a matter of fact, when we line this one up, that name Murray, so you see the Scottish flag, she's going to be a big part of this one. But Stephanie Sidlick is one of the strongest riders without any doubt in this race. As a matter of fact, as I said,
11
Nathan,
seconds.
If
she can hold on to this.
So if Stevens were here, it changes everything. This is going to be a much more exciting race for the women here today. I love it. Stephanie, you go, girl. A big gap, Nathan. We got ourselves a jailbreak. Welcome to downtown Payne City. It's the Stephanie Sidlick Show, Nathan. It's going to be
real
fun. She's
quickly,
going to be out
just
there
a
for a
shout out
while.
of men's too, and the men's side of things. There's a break as well. Jaden Yager was on the attack with Cormac Medillo, as well as Kershaw, Cunningham, and McLean trying to shut things down. I think because of the break that's in here, if they continue on, 7 watts per kilogram, 8 watts per kilogram for a moment from McGill there. Because of that, I have a feeling that things may split, but they have to have some continuance on the flats here in just a moment. Counterattacks need to come through if it's going to stick here. Sidlick, though, still with a gap here at this point. 8 seconds now. This is dangerous, but she has to have some serious climbing legs the next time through the top of the KOM on this next lap. If she does not hold, going to be tough here, Dave. I mean, it was solo rider. She needs a couple to come across. She really does.
Yeah, a couple is right, Nathan. 2, maybe 3. But actually, imagine this: if she could just get Murray and Backus with her, right? Oh, or for that matter, I'm looking at 2 riders that I think would be very well suited. Christy Tracy, another great example of a woman who's not afraid to do the work. Or how about Matson Coe out of Seattle, Washington? Let's see if, but the thing is, I think, Nathan, they're smart enough now. That group of women is going to try to chase her back, a collective effort rather than individuals trying to bridge up, going from station to station out here. But Stephanie Sidlick is that strong. You see her, the last couple of years, she's a first group climber at races like Redlands or Gila or Joe Martin, which we're looking forward to coming up here. But look at the peloton, Nathan. They're right now, it's like a retractable leash. They're starting to bring it back in a little bit.
Bringing it back. I think it's going to go Grupo Compacto again on that race. I think Stephanie is.
Agreed.
Well, King's backing off a little bit. I think they got the speed, though. Now, in this interesting situation, our sprinter, Bevan, what is going on here? He's on the attack.
He's
it
so
was
strong.
Good timing. It was really good timing. Here's the thing: is like, look at the
He
split.
dropped
back.
about 20 riders. Yeah, he put a bunch of guys out the back door. Nathan, can they come back?
So the
What do you
reason
think?
that this is happening is because those 4 off the front, Cormac McGill and crew, Cunningham and a few others, they put that attack on over the top with about 4 riders. They kept the gap long enough through the flatter sections of this course that then a couple of riders came over the top back into the climb, and just as the riders were trying to get back on terms, or at least create Grupo Compacto again and make that straight line a group and maybe slow down to 3-4 watts per kilogram, instead it's like 5 still, and next thing you know, you're back into the climb. You don't have that reprieve. So what you have to do is you have to, if you want to make a break happen, you have to tactically make sure the reprieve for those who were just trying to sit in never happens. You have to make sure that you just continually make it so difficult for those who are just trying to hang on around that, that sweet spot in a group ride where 5 are in the front are really doing the work and everybody else does the flying V in the back. You need to make sure
Absolutely.
the flying V never happens.
Right. It's such a great point, Nathan. Here's an interesting group of 3 riders starting to get a little bit of a gap. Nathan, if you were to take a poll on the internet, I would say 98% of folks out there don't believe a breakaway can work, certainly not a solo breakaway. And that's why it's really interesting when you see riders racing so aggressively. Sometimes these breakaways, they're not even really test attacks. What they are is more trying to just shake some riders out the back end of the group, whittle things down, and ultimately, let the strong men come to the group with only riders, like you said, who've been doing work out there. It's kind of helps level the playing field when you look at that sprint, is you don't want to bring passengers along with you, right? One of the most classic things that you would hear from a savvy sprinter playing mind games out there is like, look, just don't drop me and I promise I won't sprint in the finale. Right. That's one of the biggest lies told in cycling.
Yes, very much so. That's a good point about the telling. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna come to the line. No big deal. I've had a couple of deals in the past here and there about who's doing the work and who's not, and most of them I don't know. Maybe I've just gotten lucky. Maybe I just gotten really lucky, and I'm amongst a lot of honest racers because most of the time we've held a pretty solid
accountability in Wisconsin. You guys are
well, I guess it's a tight knit group.
Yeah.
A tight knit group. Even so we definitely have.
So Nathan,
we got to race each other week in and week out. At the national level, you don't necessarily see each other all the time. So.
No, you can pull. There's some pretty classic stories out there. Michael Friedman is one of them. So I just had to. It's Eddie Merckx's birthday today. Eddie Merckx is 75 years old.
I saw
Think
that
about that
post.
for a second.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
someone told me that Eddie Merckx, actually James O'Laughlin out of Cincinnati, just told me on Facebook that Eddie Merckx would make a breakaway work, and I don't know. It's 75. I don't know. He might be a little old, but I like your enthusiasm, James.
Looking through a lot of the comments here, tons of them coming through. Adam Zimmerman just said that he thinks that this course and he's a sprinter, a very well-known sprinter. He won the U.S. National Zwift Championship actually a couple years back in a sprint situation with the group, so he knows his stuff. And he says the timing on this course is very difficult to get. It's one of the most difficult courses to find the timing because it has so many different places where you can go actually, and you can catch people out and knowing where, when, and how. If it sets up like it normally does, it's going to be the not this left-hand turn, but the next left-hand turn where really you've got to be in the top 10 at that point, top 5 even, and then the kick is a little bit is very, very shortly after that, because you don't see the line from when you have to go full on. So if we're going to watch real here, just as a setup for everybody to kind of know when, where, and how. Right here at this point, if you're not in the top 5, top 10, it's over. You can see the finish line just off in the distance here. Left turn, right turn, you're already full sprint at this point, though, and you don't even see the line. Right-hand turn in just a moment here, and then you're coming over the top of whoever's wheel you're on, or you're already in the lead, because there's the finish line. Boom. Your game's already over if you aren't there. So very interesting sprint, that's for sure. With only 9 laps to go in the men's race, things have been crazy fast.
Nathan, look how well coached up everybody is, though. It's like they all got the memo that you just put out, right? I mean, they are fighting for positioning here. But what is the view number? There's the 8 different looks that you can have, right? Well, these guys have really figured out that part of the game. That's for sure. You don't see them surging off the front and wasting any calories out here. It's much like racing in the World Tour. If you're going to hit out, do it for a reason. Make it matter. Right, Nathan? No point in wasting energy because you're going to need it for the finale. I like Stephanie Sidlick's chances quite a bit here. She
super aggressive today, too.
Yeah, she's just feeling it, I think. And I think she might take a few women with her this time, Nathan. It looks like Charlotte Backus came to play.
Yeah, Backus on the front again. It looks like Kluczynski, Tracy there. Those have been the names here. It seems like toward the front end. Sidlick's going again. It looks like. Yeah, Stephanie's right on the front again. Velocity Vixen trying to make things hard.
She's the rider to watch. She's definitely the danger woman, Nathan, here today. She comes in, as one of the riders who's really got the ability to the finale of this race. There's no question she's part of the storyline, but I really have to say that Murray, the Scottish rider here, she and Christy Tracy are going to be really tough to beat, aren't they? That's a potent combo of riders. Tracy and Murray.
They've really been showing themselves to be kind of the stronger, at least the ones who are willing maybe out there today to just kind of stick it to everybody and trying to create a breakaway situation. One of them get off the front. The other's just going to sit in and not do a whole lot of work. So, but Evoke also has numbers, but I'm not sure Evoke's got the power out there today, or maybe they're just being patient. They could be being patient and waiting till later in the race. It's a long race. We got 39 Ks. We're not even halfway through at this point. And perhaps some of these racers are just letting some of these other racers burn matches. We've seen Backus off the front a little bit. We've seen Saris with Tracy and Murray off the front.
Right.
Velocity Vixen have thrown some matches as well, but Evoke, not a lot of matches been following. They got a lot of bodies in here. Interesting to see. Is it a power issue? Is it an issue of not having the ability, or are they waiting for a later attack when some of the sting is out of the legs?
Well, yeah, I mean, that really, when you talk bike racing 101, you don't attack when you feel good. You attack when they are at their limit. If you're willing to go a little bit deeper, scrape a little harder on the bottom of the barrel to find another watt, that's where you make the difference in racing. I mean, Nathan, before we went on air today, we talked about it's just 1%. So nowadays, when you look at how the level here has increased,
we were talking about my suffering.
We were talking. Yes, well, that was you, right? But yes. But in this case, these riders, if you look at the top rider who finishes today all the way down to the bottom of the results list, there's not that much difference physiologically between these riders. It's a lot of it is mental. Who wants to hurt more? Who can keep the accelerator down on the floorboard a little bit longer? And as we take a look, one of those riders certainly here. Well, it's interesting. I mean, both of these groups, Nathan, are showing a lot of resiliency here. right? I mean, we've weeded out as we've said before, those that didn't have the courage never started. Only the strong have made it to this point now. But you don't see a lot of riders dropped for the second half of the race. It's most of that work is done. Yes, there will be some, but absolutely the first half of the race, you see a lot of riders getting thrown out the back.
And speaking of, it looks like Clara James on the attack actually here, trying to throw some riders out the back. This young rider,
This is the
so strong. Good to
14-year-old.
see. Good to
She's-
see a junior just out here. The development of the sport. One thing when you mentioned her at the beginning that came to my mind actually that I wanted to note was that this is one of the things that Zwift is all about. It's all about discovery of new athletes from moms who are at home riding, to that you're talking about, that there's people who dad's inside rider trade, mom's inside rider trade, that whole idea,
Right.
to new talent, new upcoming junior talent, development talent. The whole idea of the Zwift Academy is discovery of who is going to be our next elites that we wouldn't have been able to discover maybe otherwise. So putting these names out there, seeing who's who amongst all of the juniors that are jumping into this racing, it's absolutely awesome to see. And James Hur here now, giving that little bit of a kick off the front, showing her talent amongst a very, very experienced Zwift field, both in real life and in racing out on Zwift. Obviously, very strong women that she's hammering up against here. And it's very cool to see her getting that experience and pushing her limits.
Yeah, that's you, Clara, that Nathan's talking about. So big ups to you. Keep it up. Keep working hard out there. You're really impressing us, that's for sure. So we take a look at this group now, just kind of a heavy rotation going on the front. I love seeing that name win out there, the Vietnamese flag, another Evoque rider that deserves some props. She's a fighter, that's for sure. Tucked nicely into this group. A little bit of calm right now, Nathan. It won't last that long as ladies now really through the midpoint of their race. It's going to be a quick one today, a little over 50 minutes before this one is done. Dusted. I see Angela Pitzer, big fan of the rider out of Denver. She's another one, Nathan, that has an awesome attitude and just makes watching this racing so much fun out here. Going back to the guys, more or less Grupo Compacto. Everyone all
Yeah,
together.
DJ gives a little bit. DJ,
maybe
he's giving
not.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Real quick shout out, Andrew Dodds. I do see your chat coming in. NG and DT, can we have a big shout out to Melanie King? Team CLS, please. Mel's nickname in our team is Enyo, the Greek goddess of war and destruction. She's powered by green slime smoothies and Jaffa cakes, too. What a rider. She loves being in downtown Payne City. I love it. So thanks a lot, Andrew Dodds. Love the comment coming on through. And shout out to Melanie. Thanks for jumping into downtown Payne City. Great city out here today. And definitely love to see all the athletes showing up for the broadcast and the races. So shout out to Melanie. Did see her early on. I'm not sure if she's made the breakout here today. She was in there a little earlier. Tried finding her out on course, but hopefully she finishes up her race and has a good race out there.
Yeah, USA, when you look at America, I'm going to say that especially in 2021, probably 90% of the road racing that you see in the country. In Belgium and Holland, mostly Belgium at the Kermesse, but the Kermesse is a little larger circuit, usually maybe 3 times as long. American criterium, typically using old money. Nathan, I think about a mile per lap, under 2 kilometers or around 2 kilometers per lap is usually right in line with the norm. They're always much, much better. They always joke about the office park crit where you can kind of close off an area and race and not have to bring in a whole lot of resources to do that. But the best criteriums are like the event in Athens, Georgia, Athens Twilight, where you get, tens of thousands of fans showing up on just that classic American racing vibe. And that's what we're replicating here today. USA Cycling working hard to stay ready to go. As soon as that flag drops and we can get racing going, they're going to be right back on it. But here we are again, along with our friends from Saris and the Pros Closet. Highly recommend you check out their website. Boy, they put a lot of great content out.
6 to go. 6 to go, Dave.
6 laps to go.
Just a heads up.
Okay.
Just as a heads up
Yep.
real quick. I was on Dan's avatar there. I'm like, Dan, I'm talking to Dave, Nathan, talking to Dave. Quick little shout out to Nicola. Thanks a lot, Nicola. Good to see Cramner 2020 in the house. And congratulations to your athletes as well, Nicola, who made the Olympic team for next year. Very cool to see. And she says she loves to hear the tips coming on through for the brog. I think they're all just out here for the tips, Dave. They all want to know how to win
well,
races, it sounds like.
Nikki's awesome. She's been running that team going all the way back to the mid 2000s. Started up in Marin County, and talking about 2020, that's the team of, well, a friend of ours on Zwift for sure, Shayna Paulus, but of course Chloe Dygert, who is one of the, when you talk about American medal hopes, it's not just cycling, it's outright American medal hopes. She's one of our best chances, and it's just such a cool team. Jennifer Valente deserves a ton of credit. Also, maybe one of the most underappreciated American Olympians is Valente has a chance to win 3 medals in Tokyo. So we're going to be going back and forth between the men and the women. The men a little bit further along the course here, is it's going to be about 39K of racing, 20 laps. But as Nathan noted, the guy's going to be coming up on 5 to go. No free laps.
Oh, Bevan.
Nathan.
Bevan McGeough, these boys giving an attack over the top of the climb here, and they're not messing around with this one. Through this section, he's still pulling 8 watts per kilogram right now, and it looks like Cormac is going. It looks
here we go.
Kershaw, Schwartz, Macahon is trying to go along with it as well. This is a full-on attack here with only 5 laps to go. If they get away, and the reality of this is the timing here is perfect because they might sleep a little bit because they might be wanting to rest up before their sprint setup. So the pack here might be too confident that it's going to come back. They've got a good 5-6 seconds. Now they need to go. They need over this here, this left-hand turn, they got to push 8 watts per kilogram through here, I think, or the pack is going to bring them back in. If they get 10 seconds over the top, it's going to get into a situation where some of the teams or some of the pack here, and there's not a lot of teams to chase, actually. This is a very it's dropouts and KRT. I mean, there's not a lot of teams out here today. It's a lot of solo efforts. Bevan's pushing 8-8 here, and this is good timing, too, because if they do get caught, Dave, he's going to have time to rest up still. So, because he's going to want to be able to sprint. So, this is when he's kind of like, can I test it to get away and just win this outright? Or if I get caught, all right, I got a lap or 2 to sit in if it doesn't go crazy. It's still risky, but it's not as much of a risk of going with 2 to 3 left to go.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's interesting. That'll be really interesting now. So I'm still going to play this out as we look at this now. James Bevan here, such a strong rider, but the chase is coming, and that's going to be one of the riders that has the ability to really, I mean, if we can get a little bit of help here, this one will reset. Oh, it's in the balance, Nathan.
Look, though,
it's splitting the front of this group. Right, exactly.
Gosh.
So this is blowing the race to bits. It's like James Bevan just pulled the pin on a pain grenade out there because riders are going to be all over downtown Pain City now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially on like Donkey Kong as they're inside of 5 laps to go here.
Kershaw and McGeough, they're going to get caught. I think they're going to get caught, which is too bad to see. But no, it's blown up still. McLean's trying to go. Jaden Yager here trying to give it a go here at the front here, trying to keep the speed as high as it possibly can. 50 kilometers per hour from you can see here. Kershaw, 40. Now the pack is flying to try and catch up. So the speeds are higher here. Where is Bevan? Bevan's going through lap traffic. We can't even find him. He's so far ahead at this point. He's gone through the Bowler Factory team here. Freed. He just went flying through the lap riders. He's like way out at this point.
All right. Well, this man is going to be dimming the power grid around planet Earth right now. I guess what you call Wattage Cottage, Nathan. 4 laps of racing remaining here. So that's about 8 kilometers until this one is put paid.
It's kind of getting to that point, Dave, where it's like the committal, though. The committal point now. It's like he can't.
He won't be able to sprint later now. Yeah,
exactly.
He's all in on this.
He either backs off right around now, or I don't know. He'd have to be some sort of crazy day on the day. 11 seconds. Can he hold on? Here comes 10 watts per kilogram. Oh my gosh.
The only person I've ever heard of who could do that, attack like this, and come back and sprint in 3 laps would be Chloe Dygert. She's not in this race. So, I mean, James Bevan is a superstar. Nathan, they might catch him. He's going by more lapped traffic out here. Unreal.
The Baconator. He's going by the Baconator. Baconator, what's going on? We got to get some more bacon in the legs.
Blew out a gasket early when you're talking about the Baconator, you know. But this is the chase group now. What are they looking at, Nathan? 11 seconds, I believe, back to chase 1, which is really the entire peloton. It's going to come up on 3 laps to go pretty quickly here. So that's a lapped rider coming back into the field. Baconator will be up in the mix, we think, this weekend, but there's your leader. This is the vanguard. This is 11 seconds. Okay, Nathan, He could do it. He is that strong. This guy is a superstar of esports racing. So the British rider, James Bevan, comes in top ranked on points. Now, when you look at the body of work in this USA Cycling Series, he's not really a huge danger man there. But what he is a huge threat for the win today. He's putting more coal on the fire, Nathan. The gap is going up, up, up. This is like watching a grass fire turn into a structure fire right in front of your eyes. Let's take a look.
10th place right now.
So, right, again.
Outright win will bump him up, though, at least a couple of places here, I think, today, because it's 60, 62, but not into the podiums, of course.
This is about La Roica. The greatest feeling in cycling is winning a bike race with a solo attack, Nathan. You know that as well as anyone, right? That feeling of doing this, if you can pull it off, it's the masterwork. Oh, I love it. You know, James Bevan, win, lose, or draw. He's been in the bank. He got all the money. Now he's in a getaway car, hightailing his way around Crit City.
Oh, can he hold on here? We need a Bevan Payne Cave. 3 laps to go. They're still within sight now at this point. It's going to be so difficult.
11 seconds to.
We need Bevan Cam. We need a Bevan Cam to know what this looks like at this point, because man, the suffering that's going on in this man right now. 186 beats per minute, trying to hold on. He's put it all on the line, and this is the best sprinter that we had in the field. Him and Hodges, I would say they were going to go head to head. Vigo more as well, but he wasn't wanting to risk it against those two today. He wanted to throw his chips on the table, all in at this point, and 12 seconds is the difference here. Once it ramps up, if he doesn't get 20 seconds into the last lap, when they start ramping up, I think it's done. So he has to have some serious continuance here.
He needs a new FTP test, I guess, because that's exactly what he's doing right now. This is going to be insane, Nathan, when this one is done and dusted. That's the question now, folks. I'd love to hear what you think. Can he hold them off? Everybody, Nathan, in the comments is saying no way a solo attack can work. I've not seen one believer out there yet. Are you that believer? Let us know at Zwift Community Live. We would love to hear, because, Nathan, I certainly would not want to bet against this man, but reality tells you this is a tough, tough road to hoe for James Bevan.
It's really, the reality of this course is that it just rolls so much for the pack. You can break it up into smaller pieces, but getting a solo effort away like this, it's just so incredibly difficult. Watch the kilometers per hour, 53, 52. Watch what now the group gets, 56, 55, 54. They get that extra kilometer per hour, so he has to do so much more work as they roll through, and holding on to the speed here, even at 7 watts per kilogram. Look, they still got him in sight now.
That's the reality. Yeah, you know what, this guy, though, he's spicy like a jalapeno, right? This is, if James Bevan wants to race this way, I will take my cap off to that, because when a sprinter attacks a race, that's old school fury is what we were looking at, but it's going to reset, Nathan. Go ahead.
I think the writing's on the wall. Yeah, and he's with 2 laps to go. Is he gonna get a counterattack from somebody, though? Is going to be the question, or can he hold on? So will he be able to rest up, is what I'm saying. Will he be able to get the engines firing again before that sprint?
I hate to be a pessimist, Nathan, but I think that this is such a commitment here. What Bevan has done, I salute that, but I can't imagine how he could recover over the next 4 minutes here, because they're going to be down to it now. And look at this catch. It's like watching an injured antelope getting caught on the Serengeti by a pack of lions, isn't it? Boom.
2 to go. 2 to go. 2 to go.
Reset.
Now, just so everybody knows, I want to say real quick, because there's an attack in the women's race. We're going to jump in with them just very quickly, just to give this a shout out here. We definitely were just trying to catch the last 5 laps or so of the men's race, but Murray and Sidlick have gone off the front over the top of the KOM. They've got a 2-second gap at this point. They've really been pressing the pace, and if we do see Velocity Vixen and Saris try and get away, that would be a situation where the two mainly represented teams, Evoke's the other team that's in there, though. So 2 of the 3 would have 2 riders off the front. Evoke are on the chase, though. It does look like Mats and Co is shutting that down from Evoke. So that's a situation.
She's
back
so
into
strong.
The men's race, though, be 2 to go, and we'll be back into the women's race for the finish for them, as they still have 10K to go.
Yeah, so we'll get at least, I would say, the last 7K there. So, again, now here we go. This is the front of the bike race again. They've just brought back James Bevan. So, as we reset here for our A, man, it's certainly looking like a sprint, and there are a lot of hungry riders in this group, Nathan. But there you go, the counterattack. I don't know if I call it the counterattack. It's just a new attack going up, and it's going to be Snickers and Ricardo chasing Santillani's.
Yeah, the Italian.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what kind of a gap he's going to open up. They're going to start running out of real estate, Nathan, because we're going to be at that one to go moment pretty quickly here. That's going to be coming up in about a kilometer. They'll be out on the last lap. Is this the final attack that they have to deal with? The devil you know, the devil you don't. Okay, they didn't want to play around here, Nathan. It looks like just a second is the advantage holding on, and we're going to reset here. So go ahead, hit the reset button, maybe for the final time for the men. As Nathan, this is it. Finale time for our A men.
Yeah, and I think that there is a reality on this final lap that I've seen once before in a race like this where somebody went over the top of the KOM on the bell lap, on the bell lap course, and went all in with like 8 to 9 watts per kilogram average for the entirety of the lap. I mean, it's got to be a rider who can hold insane power for 2 minutes and has rested up this entire race waiting for a one lap go. We're on the bell lap. Ding, ding. Here we go. And is someone going to give it a go? Or are they going to set up for the sprint? It's a risky sprint with this many riders here.
Crazy. I mean, the next stop should be the insane asylum, Nathan, if you're going to be attacking this group now solo. I hate to say it, but I mean, there is so much horsepower that is absolutely locked and loaded. This is not a drill, riders. This is the finale here in Crit City. This is what these guys live for now. So the battle royale commences here, Nathan. It's going to be all about positioning. You take us through this final lap better than anyone, but you know that it's not the first surge. It's not the second surge. It's this amazing brief moment in time where these races are won. And Nathan, as Adam Zimmerman has pointed out, it is so tricky getting the timing right out here today. So experience really going to pay off at this point. Have you played your cards right? But look who has. Brian Hodges. Hodges in the sweet spot. He's on a magic carpet ride right now, Nathan. He's had his main danger man. I'd say James Bevan, the main danger guy for Hodges. Maybe I'm wrong. You could tell me what you think.
More, you said Vigo Moore as well. Vigo Moore, I think.
Vigo too. Him. Well, and watch, Vigo's been sitting pretty. Nathan, the kid, the 17-year-old. Lux is his team on the road. This kid's a superstar in the making. Like he's the next Matthew Riccatello. Here we go.
Oh, here goes the attack. Here goes the attack. DTR, it looks like there's a rider trying to get away. Early attack here. Interesting to see. Is he going to be able to stay away? Riders are already starting to ramp up here. We see Lawrence here as well. I'm trying to get to the front here. It's very difficult. There's so many here at this point. It looks like it's going to be Kershaw going. Lundqvist, it's Team SZ. I knew it was Team SZ. 10 watts per kilogram coming from him. This is going to get shut down, but will it get shut down by the group because it's already strung up behind? Kershaw holding on. This will get caught. This definitely will be caught. It's going to get let out here by Kershaw. Nobody's sleeping. Bevan's sitting pretty. It's going to be a left-hand turn to the right. It's already opening up. Ricardo now, PTZ going. Left-hand turn, 800 watts as he caught them all out. But here comes Hodges. 16 watts per kilogram from James Hodges. He's leading out, it looks like, though. I'm not sure if the Hodges is going to be able to hold on to the line. It's right there, but it's going to be Peterson. Peterson from Team Auto catches out everyone. That was a name I was not expecting. Looks like Peterson was able to grab the W there over the top of the strongest sprint we've seen recently. Hodges let him out, I think. I think Peterson marked him. I'm pretty sure Peterson marked him perfectly and then was able to come up over the top there, Dave. Wow. I'm going to try and bring up the replay, but what an amazing sprint.
That was nuts. Racers, I salute you. As my friend Nico de Muiter would say, proficiat. That was outstanding racing today. Esports is absolutely killing it today. So, Nathan, great. We're going to pick up the replay of the men here, and then we'll get a look at the women.
Yeah, Ricardo here, 11 watts per kilogram. This is the lead out. It was Lundqvist that gave the kick there early on. Look, going straight backwards, though, very, very early from Team SZ. He's got a gap. This is that moment where you're like, I'm winning. Oh, here they come, kind of a thing.
Oh, man.
Bevan, after that attack, 14 is all we saw from him. Hodges sitting in, waiting. Look at the patience from Hodges. Now he kicks up in the 14 watts per kilogram, but he ended up being the lead-out man, it looks like. Where is Peterson? We've seen this so many times recently that a rider who's a little ways back comes on through. There it is, 14 from Peterson at the perfect timing. Peterson comes on through. He's in the yellow kit on the right-hand side. Hodges is now the lead-out man, essentially, coming over the top of Sikala there, out of Ireland there. And here comes Peterson. Peterson able, it looks like, to grab that W just over the top here. It does look like he was able to. I'm not sure if I think Evoke took it, followed up by Sigala. So I think that is the situation that ended up happening. Whew, what a race there. We'll jump back in with the women here as we've got the men just finished up. 33.1 kilometers. They've got a 39 total on the day. I believe they're going to have about 5 laps to go. Nobody off the front here at this point in the ladies' race, I believe. As they're finishing up their race as well. Going to bring in the results here for the men in just a moment. We'll take a look at them, but I do believe we got it correct there for the top 3. I'm just going to take a quick, Nicholas Peterson, Brian Hodges, and Juan Cruz Araldi actually able to just nip at the line, it looks like. Mateo Segala actually, just by a tenth of a second, 20th of a second. No, actually 200ths of a second, I think it was, between those two riders.
Wow, that was something. So, okay, picking up the women. Can you believe what a treat it is that we get treated to 2 finales here? So, Nathan, 3 to go. Good. As we take there we go. That updates for me. I was saying that doesn't quite work out right. 33.8 kilometers. That's going to be 3 to go for the women. All right, with a little bit of a reduced group. Most of the women keeping their heads above water.
Yeah, 151 beats from here from Murray. It looks like they've calmed things down just a little bit. I think those mid-race attacks perhaps putting a little bit of fatigue in the legs.
Having Sidlick and Murray off the front is certainly going to catch everybody's attention. So it speaks to the fact that Charlotte Backus and company they worked together collectively to bring those back. There's Clara James here.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate Quentin Mueller with the correction there. 0.2 of a second is a lot in a sprint. It was 2/100ths of a second. I appreciate there, Quentin, over at the YouTube channel. I definitely made a mistake there on that one as I was looking through the results. We'll get a look at all of the results, how close things were, because everything in that top 10 was within about a tenth of a second. Well, in the top 3 to 4 was within a tenth of a second, and then it started going out a little bit further, but that sprint was pretty crazy there. Murray, though, on the attack here in the women's race, so we jump in with them. Christy Tracy, Saris, they're kind of taking over at the front here in that Saris kid, it looks like.
And it speaks to, Nathan, why when you look at races like Tulsa Tough or Gateway Cup, that multi-day criterium events are always going to be omniums, not stage races, because the point system, scoring on placings makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? In some cases, for sure. So this is a danger woman, no doubt. Scottish rider Murray. I'd say she's in that list of, the top 3 favorites out here. Stephanie Sidlick has stayed so attentive. Ricci's been quite impressive today as well. Daniela Istrate is another rider that we haven't talked much about. The Romanian flag just popping up here on the screen, Nathan. She's always a rider that's up in that top 10 and kind of knocking on the door for a big win. Maybe it comes today here. Crit City does suit the experienced riders, as we have learned. Makes a big, big difference when you put your cards down.
Yeah, huge difference. Peterson, I think, probably one of the most experienced riders from that PO Auto team actually out there as well. I mean, Hodge is very, very experienced, though, too. I was actually a little bit surprised. But Peterson obviously showing up for the win out here today, coming on, getting a little bit of a warm-up maybe for tomorrow as well, as PO Auto have been showing up in the WTRL and been absolutely dominating when they are in the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure what the results were, because I know last week for PO Auto, they made a little bit of a change in the zone that they had to race. So we'll have to wait and see how things play out there. But, amongst this group
here a perennial top team in the WTRL, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, they're almost unstoppable, it seems like, as of recently. Yeah. But there's a lot of new teams that have been showing up. So it's been really, really, really close with those new teams. Actually, that's one of the things here. With these teams here, Socks for Watts, I mean, there's some of the Socks for Watts ladies are in here, and they're probably getting warmed up for their WTRL tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was maybe the best time trial I've ever witnessed, was last week's 2020 and Socks for Watts battle. And the Choppers, too, for that matter. If you enjoy bike racing, and you'd be surprised how exciting these team time trials are on the WTRL league.
These punches here, these are no joke. 5.5, 5.6, 5.7 watts per kilogram amongst the ladies here. So I think Murray really trying to push the pace every lap here at this point with only a few laps to go. It's interesting to see how they're doing this here.
Aren't you a little surprised she hasn't dropped more riders out of this group with these efforts? Again, resiliency is the word. A lot more depth than there was a year ago in a race like
Sidlick
this.
here, 170. If we look at the heart rates, she's definitely putting the hurt on. 169 beats per minute here, 165 you see here. Richie, Matz, and Cole, 170. All these ladies, it's a long race out here today, and they're definitely suffering a little bit. Just looking for a win. Poland, though, here from Evoke, 151. Kolchinski, 171. Anybody who's up toward the front of this pack here is definitely working. Anybody back here is trusting it's going to come back here, and they're having to put a little effort here to close this down, actually.
Yeah, that trust is probably placed correctly, to tell you the truth, but you never do know. It almost sounded there like you were reading off a podium for a moment there when you said Murray, Sidlick, and Matson Co. I mean, that's again, if you want to look at the three riders boxing a trifecta, that's not a bad group of three to be looking at.
I want to call out, though, Charlotte Backus has been looking for a podium for a while, and I think Backus maybe just really chomping at the bit for a sprint today.
I hear you, and I completely agree. To her credit, Nathan, we have a lot of love for Charlotte. She did get that. She was part of that team that won last week on Thursday. That was the Sox for Watts. That was huge for that. I mean, a team time trial win with that kind of, I don't know, the energy around it was as good as it gets in sport. So you're right, that individual win. Now, for Charlotte, that's what's next. Is it today? I don't know that today suits her quite as well as maybe some other uphill finishes, but we'll see.
We're getting a little bit of
she might be a better sprinter.
Keller also finished in the top 10 at the Tour of Gila, I'm hearing. So, and I think, is Keller still in the group here? She's made it, looks like here. Yeah, from Rio.
Yep,
so
she did.
Maybe somebody we've slept on a little bit here is whether or not, the Canadian. Watch out for her. In a sprint situation, they're playing a very tactical game out here today. Are we on the bell lap already? And it's just really quiet now. So we're in the last lap here, and where are the attacks? They're all about the sprint here at this point. It seems like.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, a little different than the men's race. Every race is a different story. Well, the plot line here has this group. They're going to be opening up the throttle here any minute. We were talking about Charlotte Backus. That's who Nathan is locked into now. But Nathan, this is it. Only one woman gets to lick her plate clean at the finish line. Who's it going to be? Who wants it more? And Stephanie Sidlick has hit out for the Prairie. She's been active. This should get some attention, Nathan. I'm going to throw it to you. Here we go.
Yeah, James Hearn out to the front as well. It's really going to be about, with the way that they're playing this here, though, it's kind of about not getting your nose in the wind. Just enough effort to stay in that top five, but at the same time, don't find yourself in the front because you go backwards very quickly on this course. Now, setting up Backus, third wheel, fourth wheel. I'm wondering what kind of views that they're using here. And now to the front, it does look like Evoke is going to start taking over. That is going to be Cooper? No, Wendorf. Now on the front. Pitzer was there for a moment. Now Kolchinski there, it looks like, in the alien kit. Here comes Christy Tracy. Christy Tracy with an early attack here. Now, this is going to be all about forcing a lead out from somebody from another team. She might just win it outright, though, because the other teams might say, no, it's not going to be happening here. Evoke trying to play a lead out, but it's going to be either setting up for her teammate, Carolyn Murray, or Christy Tracy's just going to win at 8 watts per kilogram. Now setting up, Murray's trying to go. Murray chasing her down here a little bit. Interesting. No, Murray's jumping on Stephanie Sidlick's wheel. That's what's going on here. Christy Tracy with the gap. Murray trying to hold on. Daniela Estrate, but she might actually have the gap. This is a huge gap to the line. 9.7, 8 watts per kilogram. Can she will? It looks like Christy Tracy with the upset. She may have done it. She's done it. Matson Coe. It looks like Keller, the next one across the line. What an amazing! Oh, they slept on Tracy.
How sweet it is. They put their focus on Murray. Tracy slips away. That's the classic way to do it. Boom. Boom, out go the lights. Christy Tracy gets that elusive big-time W here in Crit City. That was well-earned. That was brains and muscle coming together in the first
3 seconds. So that's what you need. That's what you need is like 3 seconds. Maybe, amongst the ladies here, Daniela Estrate, she tried making it happen. But
credit to her teammate too. Caroline Murray plays it perfectly, right? Sitting on, not chasing her teammate back, and was ready. Did Murray end up second? I will have to take a look.
No, Matson Coe. So Murray actually was just following Stephanie's wheel. Yeah, so Mats
Again,
and Co. there
second.
with a huge gap, actually. I'm not sure the next one. It might have been Keller or Strate. We'll have to take a look at the results here in just a moment,
That's
but
how
that
you
was the situation.
two women operating like a well-drilled squad of 8 out there. As that's a big win for Christy Tracy. Laura Matsenko, that's her second podium, second silver medal in 2 weeks. Nathan, the orthopedic surgeon out of Seattle, is on the rise.
Yeah, very great job out there with them. And quick little shout out actually on my other feed. If you guys weren't didn't know, I believe the Zwift Pro Tri Series is actually going on. If you're looking for more esports to go watch, as I did see Lionel Sanders and a few others jumping into the Crit City actually out there, and there's a whole bunch of green jerseys, pro green jerseys actually all around. So I'm pretty sure
Cool.
that they're live right now, so you guys can check that out as well right after this. Let's take a look at all the results. We haven't taken a look at the results just yet, so let's see how things played out here in the A race. And we'll also check out the other categories as well, as I think a lot of them will have finished already. So take a quick look here amongst the men out there today. This was the situation. Nicholas Peterson did take it down, followed up by Brian Hodges. And then it was Juan Cruz Ralde, followed up by Mateo Sigala. And then it's going to be James Bevan. James Bevan still with the top. Dave, fifth place after that off the front. Pretty amazing.
Incredible. That really is. The guy's got some range, man. No doubt. Cormac McGee, Vigo Moore, Danielle Ricardo, Christopher Ashton, and Andrew Hodden. Those are some familiar names. So the usual suspects in the top 10. Congratulations to Danish rider Nicholas Pedersen.
And it's going to be Dustin Byers, Will Peterson, and then Blake Erbold. And it's going to be Danny Reisling, Bradley Haley, Ian Mulligan, Chuck Coyle, London Warburton, and then Ryan Tweeten. Matt DeLisa there in the top 10 for the B category in the USA Cycling Series. Out on the Bell Lap here. In the C category, Nicholas Latham, Justin Evans, Daryl Southwood, Chrissy, I'm going to say Chrissy, Seabass, and then it's going to be Mike Keeley-Bolts, and some bling in the name there in fourth place. Let's see the bling in the name. Christopher Octa! Shout out to Christopher Octa, always a huge supporter of everything we're doing here at ZCL. David Watts, Joe Flitton, and then Brian McClelland, and I'll throw it over to you for the Ds.
Thanks. It's Jon Schofberger, the German rider, taking the win in the Ds, with Jay Saunders second, Yuri Vervlossum in third, so 2 Belgian riders there, Stefan Smoyens in fourth, and then Mattia Bocci in fifth, Raymond von Knoll in sixth, then Kevin Klein, Daryl Askey, 2 Americans in seventh and eighth, Antonio Marquez in ninth, and then David Schaefer rounding out our top 10. That's the Ds.
All right, so in the A category, we just saw Christy Tracy win by over a second there. Huge.
Look at that. Keller got up there for third. Yeah.
Manali Keller for third, the Canadian. Mats and Co. You called Mats and Co. for the win today. Only one off that spot, though. Solid sprint. She waited maybe... there's just a reality that, maybe not waited too long, because if she would have chased, she could have been the lead out. It was a tough situation to be in there. Evoke needed a couple more maybe on the front to close things down for Mats and Co. today. But then it was Daniela Strate, Carolyn Murray, who set her teammate up very well today, it looked like. Stephanie Sidlick. She actually sat on Stephanie Sidlick's wheel, it looks like, and was able to take her at the line there. Clara James Herr, good to see the junior rider. They're making a top 10 with 7th place. Charlotte Backus getting a warm up for WTRL. Maybe tomorrow with Sox Watts, but gets in 8th place. Morgan Chafin also riding for Velocity Vixen for 9th. And Kristen Kay following it up for 10th place. Let's go ahead and see if we have the B's and C's that finished up. No, the ladies will not have finished up their race just as of yet in the B, C, and D category. So we're going to hold off with that. I'm going to really quick, though, give a shout out over to the racing that is going on. The women's race, I believe, is going on right now for the Z Pro Tri Series, as you can see. Go ahead and go check that out. You guys are live over on Zwift Live. Lots going on out on Crit City today, obviously, as you're going to see a lot of green kits here out on, and I believe they're going to have some pretty cool commentators over there from the triathlon world. So definitely a cool thing to go check out. Make sure to check that out, everybody, for more esports racing out on Zwift. I'm Nathan Guerra. Dave Joel, this is the USA Cycling Series. We had a lot of fun today, Dave.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We'll be back for WTRL tomorrow. Make sure to check that. And then tonight, I haven't scheduled the live stream. It's a kind of an experiment, but we're going to try and do Dave DS and commentary while Nathan is racing the USA Cycling Series. We'll be live a little bit before 7:40 p.m. Central Standard Time. Probably going to have mainly a down under as well as a U.S. market, unless you're a night owl over in the UK. But thanks for tuning in, everybody, as always. And we will see you guys later tonight for USA Cycling Series Rider Perspective with Dave Diessen. As well as one other thing, guys, definitely check out. We've got Joe Martin. It's happening this weekend. Huge race. We're really excited for that. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. As always, right on.